Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to continue our theme of looking at some traditional origami, and today we're going to make a horse. And this horse is really cool because it's kind of action origami, I guess, in the sense that if you flip it right, it can then flip over and land right on its legs again, which is really cool when it works, fingers crossed, right? So I'll show you guys how to make this. You do need scissors for this project, so if you hate scissors, turn away now. I don't want to scare you guys, but you don't want to do this if you don't like scissors. Can't do it without them. So, but we do use a standard piece of origami. I'm just going to be using a regular square piece that's 15 by 15 centimeters. I'll let you guys know the dimensions if that's something that matters. I do tend to think these kind of action origami for this particular model, they work a little better when they're smaller. You start using really big paper and it just don't quite work right. So, but we're going to be using a little bit of blue paper here, and what we want to do is start off and get some really good creases in our paper, and all the creases we want come from getting to the bird base. So I'm going to start off first with my color side facing down, and we're just going to do the preliminary creases to get to a square base first, and then from there we'll go towards the bird base. So get both of these sides folded in half, both horizontally and vertically. And then with the color side facing up, we fold in half both ways diagonally. After you've gotten all those creases, look at the color side, find those mountain creases, pinch on opposite sides and just push towards the center. The center part will pop up and you can shimmy everything around until you get to this nice little diamond shape here, which is our square base. And then I want to go ahead and fold the bird base here by taking the outer edge and folding it into the center. Do that for both sides. And then after getting both of those sides folded in, I'm going to take the top and fold right even with that top edge, getting a nice little triangle there at the top. Open everything up. Take that first layer of paper and push right up to that crease we just made. And then just open and smooth everything out here to get a nice big triangle. I'll do the same thing on this side too, so we wind up with this big giant diamond shape here. I'm going to take everything and fold it straight down. Make sure you get good smooth edges on everything. Flip it over, repeat the same steps then on this side too. Take everything here, roll it into the center, get a good crease. Do the same thing on this side. If you want, you can go ahead and fold this way again, or you can just reverse the crease when you fold it up. Doesn't really matter. Then open everything up. Take that first layer and fold it all the way up to the top so that you can smooth all this out to create another big diamond shape here, and then just let everything lay flat. Make sure you've got really good creases on everything. And then we're just going to open up all of the paper here. So now we've got all the good preliminary creases to help us when we do everything here. So I get all this open. And I want to look at it like a diamond. And what I want to do is I'm going to cut right along this center crease. I'm going to cut from this tip down to this crease, and from here to this crease. So I'm just going right up to the first crease you see, right along that crease that we made. I'll do this side too. So you get something that looks like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring everything back down into a square base. So you want to make sure some of those creases might be going the wrong way, but kind of make sure you still have that middle part. Shimmy everything around until you get something like this, and you should have all these nice big crease right in the middle. You could have cut that from this stage, but I would really advise against it because you might accidentally nick this part here and you don't want to do that. So we've got this part here now. We've got these two nice movable sections. I'm going to take the very first layer of paper here and fold straight up so that I get a crease that goes right between the tip and the point where I just cut my line up to there. Make a good crease there, and I'll do the same thing on this side too. Just try to open up as far as it'll go. Flip it over, do the same thing on this side too. Kind of use those points as a guide to make sure everything's straight. kind of form out what will serve here as my legs. And to just kind of make sure everything's the same, what I like to do is just take and fold this whole tip down. And you can include both layers together when you do this. Kind of keep the centers together. And then just try to repeat that kind of similar feel for how far you fold down on this side too. Now take those two flaps and just separate them. You can leave those folded forward. Flip it over and just reverse those creases so that this part is folded forward on here too. Now I'm going to take everything and following along the crease that you see here, I'm going to fold in half. And when I do, just make sure this gets tucked inside so that you get this nice section that is flat here. I'll do this side too. Flip it over, do the same thing on this side as well. And if you turn it around, you should have something that looks an awful lot like a tower there, huh? So we've got 4 legs for our horse now. And then I've got what will become a tail and what will become a head. So we're just going to do a reverse little crease here to get this part at the head popped out. And you can choose, you know, how big you want to make this, but essentially you just kind of open things up here. Put a little pressure at the top so that you can reverse and get a new valley crease here and pinch this out. You can choose, you know, how far, if you want the horse's head to be sticking more straight out or facing more down, that's kind of up to you. And then I want the tail to go straight out, so I'm just going to start with a preliminary crease. Just fold it down right even with that little line there. Get that crease going, and then use that as a guide so that when I open things up here, the back part goes down just real easily. And then I can just reverse the front part and smooth all this out so that I get a good tail section as well. That's the finished horse. Now he stands up really pretty on his own. That's all fine and good. But then the cool part is the flipping. Now let's keep our fingers crossed that when I do this it works. But what you want to do is just put the right amount of pressure right under the underside of the tail here. Excuse me if I could talk. He's going to flip up and around and hopefully land on his feet again. So let's give it a shot. Whoops, gave too much of a flip. Yay! Okay, that one worked. I think you guys can see that. So I'll have to show you guys the bloopers of all the times I tried and it failed before, right? That's your finished horse. So what we're going to do is give you guys the dimensions of this guy. Kind of a fun little thing to make if you're having a party, especially if the person likes horses or something. This is about 12 by 10. 12 centimeters wide by 10 centimeters tall. And that gives you then our finished little horse, which is our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.